The bridge of the Odyssey thrummed with quiet energy, the hum of engines and flickering consoles the only soundtrack to humanity's boldest journey beyond the settled systems. Captain Maya Reyes stood at the command chair, eyes fixed on the hollow display that floated midair before her. Stars stretched out like scattered diamonds against the infinite black, but it was what came from the dark between them that captured her attention. "Status report," she said, voice calm but edged with anticipation. Lieutenant Arjun Patel, the ship's lead xenolinguist and signal analyst, looked up from his station, fingers dancing across a translucent keyboard. "Captain, we've been intercepting that signal for over 6 hours now. It's complex. Not just noise or a natural phenomenon. There's structure, patterns, something deliberate." Maya nodded, feeling a spark deep inside her. The Odyssey was the pride of the Terran exploration fleet, a state-of-the-art colony ship equipped with the most advanced sensors and research labs humanity had ever built. Their mission was to find new worlds, new resources, and, if fate smiled upon them, new allies. But what Arjun was detecting hinted at something far beyond routine exploration. "Run it through the decryption algorithms again," she ordered. "I want to know what it's saying." The ship's AI, Vera, responded smoothly. "Decrypting signal now, Captain. Initial translation suggests an ancient language structure, possibly pre-Valari. The Valari, the dominant alien empire in this part of the galaxy, had ruled unchallenged for thousands of years. Their star fleets and surveillance networks spanned hundreds of light years, crushing any threat to their hegemony. Humanity, a relatively new species in spacefaring terms, was barely on their radar. The Valari regarded humans as primitive and chaotic, unworthy of their attention, until now. Arjun's eyes lit up. "Captain, this could be it. The fabled signal the Galactic Archives mentioned in scattered texts. The one rumored to come from the Kar-El star system, a dead star system erased from all official records." Maya felt a chill. Dead systems were no mystery in the galaxy, but one erased from records? That smacked of secrets. Dangerous secrets. "Patch it through to me, Arjun," she said. The signal played through the bridge's speakers, a low, rhythmic pulse interspersed with bursts of complex data sequences. It wasn't just a beacon. It was a message, an invitation, or perhaps a warning. Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped rapidly. "Captain, unidentified ships detected at long range," Vera reported. "Multiple Valari vessels. They are moving toward our position at sublight speeds." Maya's jaw tightened. "Of course. They've been monitoring us. Probably detected the signal too." "Alert the crew and prepare for possible interception," Maya commanded. This mission just got a lot more complicated. The Valari had no interest in ancient technology falling into human hands. If the lost secrets of Kar-El were real, the Valari would stop at nothing to maintain their dominance. Hours passed in tense silence as the Odyssey pushed toward the coordinates encoded in the signal. The crew worked feverishly, translating data fragments, piecing together what could be a map or a key to an ancient technology that might shift the galaxy's balance. In the lab, Dr. Elena Wu, the ship's lead archaeologist, stared at the holographic reconstruction of Kar-El's ruins. If this technology exists, it's from a civilization far older than the Valari, one that vanished mysteriously, she said, voice trembling with excitement. They had the power to manipulate matter on a fundamental level. This could change everything. Maya watched her from the doorway. And the Valari want to make sure we never get that chance. As the Odyssey neared the Dead Star system, a nagging tension spread among the crew. They weren't just explorers anymore. They were targets. On the bridge, sensors lit up with Valari warships emerging from hyperspace. Their sleek, predatory designs were the stuff of nightmares. But the Odyssey was ready. "Raise shields and prepare weapons," Maya ordered. "We'll defend ourselves if we have to." The Valari captain's message broke through the calm silence, cold and dismissive. "Terrans, turn back. You trespass where no species is welcome. Leave the Kar-El system and surrender the signal data." Resistance will be met with annihilation. Maya's fingers hovered over the comm controls. Then she made a choice. Open a channel. Vera. Reply with this. We are not here to conquer. We seek knowledge, knowledge that belongs to all life, not just the powerful. Humanity will not cower in the shadow of empires. The Valari didn't respond, but the Odyssey was already accelerating toward the coordinates, evading and weaving through asteroid fields and the detritus of dead worlds. Hours later, in a moment of eerie quiet, Arjun finally cracked the signal's core code, a set of coordinates pointing directly to Karel's ruins and a warning. Captain, he said, voice tight, there's something else encoded here, a failsafe. Whoever sent this signal wanted to protect their technology from falling into the wrong hands. Maya's eyes narrowed. Which means the Valari aren't just worried about us. They're afraid of what we might find. And for the first time in her life, she felt the full weight of what humanity was about to face. Not just an empire, but the ghosts of a lost civilization and the promise of power beyond imagination. As the stars streaked past, the Odyssey plunged deeper into the void, carrying humanity's defiant hope into the heart of the unknown. The Odyssey's corridors hummed with nervous energy as the ship raced toward Karel. Captain Maya Reyes moved through the narrow passageways with purpose, her mind sharpening like a blade. The Valari warships weren't just shadows on the sensors anymore. They were closing fast, and the threat was no longer distant. Captain, Lieutenant Arjun Patel called from the communications deck, voice urgent over the comm. We've picked up signs of unauthorized access in the engineering bay. Maya's eyes narrowed. How extensive? Difficult to say yet. It looks like someone or something has bypassed our internal security protocols. Could be Valari operatives using advanced stealth tech. The thought of Valari infiltrators inside the Odyssey sent a chill down her spine. The Valari were masters of espionage, and if they had a mole aboard, the mission could collapse before it even began. Lock down all critical systems. Security teams to sweep the ship, Maya ordered as she headed toward the engineering section. When she arrived, the scene was tense. Sparks flickered from damaged consoles, and the low hum of the ship's core pulsed irregularly. Chief Engineer Rafael Ortega was barking orders at his team, his face grim. We've got a breach in the coolant conduits, Rafael reported. If this goes unchecked, the whole reactor could go critical. Maya glanced at the readouts. Any sign of the saboteurs? Rafael shook his head. No footprints, no direct evidence. Whoever did this was ghosts. No physical trace, just the damage. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and the emergency siren wailed through the corridors. Hull breach in Sector 5. Vera's calm voice announced. Atmospheric pressure dropping. Maya's heart raced. Seal off Sector 5. Evacuate personnel. As the crew scrambled, Maya's mind raced through scenarios. The Valari weren't just hunting the signal. They wanted the Odyssey destroyed. Their stealth agents had sabotaged the reactor and triggered a hull breach to cripple the ship. But that wasn't all. A blur of motion streaked down the hallway. Security Officer Lena Voss tackled the intruder before they could disappear into a maintenance shaft. The figure was human, or close to it, wearing a dark cloak and a mask that obscured their face. Who the hell are you? Lena demanded, pinning the intruder against the wall. The masked figure hissed, You don't understand what's at stake. The Valari, they will annihilate us all if this technology surfaces. Maya arrived just as the intruder broke free, drawing a compact plasma blade. The hallway exploded into chaos. Take cover, Maya shouted, diving behind a bulkhead as blasts of blue plasma seared through the air. The fight was brutal and fast. The intruder moved with deadly precision, forcing the security team into retreat. But in the confusion, they dropped a small data chip. Maya lunged for it as the figure vanished into a side passage. She slipped the chip into her pocket, heart pounding. Back on the bridge, the ship was reeling. The reactor stabilized, but the Valari fleet was closing in. Captain, Arjun said, scanning the recovered chip, this contains encrypted data coordinates. but not to Kal-El. Somewhere else. A trap, Maya frowned. A distraction or a setup. The Volari are playing a deeper game. Just then, alarms blared. Sensors detected multiple Volari fighters launching boarding pods. They want us dead, Maya said, voice cold steel. Prepare for combat. The corridors became battlefields. The Odyssey's crew fought fiercely, using every inch of the ship's layout to their advantage. Maya led a squad through the narrow service tunnels, ambushing Volari operatives with pulse rifles and makeshift traps. Hold the line, she commanded, heart pounding as plasma fire scorched walls around her. Amidst the chaos, the masked intruder's words echoed in Maya's mind, a warning that the Volari feared more than just the lost technology. They feared humanity itself. As the battle reached a fever pitch, Maya made a choice. We're not just fighting to survive, she declared into the calm. We're fighting to show the galaxy what humanity is capable of. With grim determination, the crew of the Odyssey pushed back the Volari boarding forces, buying precious time to reach the heart of the mission, the secrets buried in the ruins of Kal-El. But the Shadow Games had only just begun. The Odyssey dropped out of warp just beyond the shattered remnants of the Kal-El system, a ghostly constellation of fractured planets and debris circling a dead star. The star itself was a dim husk, a reminder of destruction long past, yet it pulsed faintly with an otherworldly energy that made the hairs on Maya's neck stand up. The crew assembled in the observation deck, eyes wide as the ruins spread before them on the main view screen. Vast monolithic structures pierced the haze of dust and ash, silent witnesses to a vanished civilization. Dr. Elena Wu, gripping the edge of her console, whispered, "This civilization was unlike any we've studied. Their technology, it transcends physics as we know it." Maya nodded. "And it's what the Volari fear most. They don't want anyone meddling with this." "Captain," Arjun called out suddenly, voice sharp with alarm. "Our scanners are picking up movement within the ruins. Not Volari, something else." Maya's pulse quickened. "Prepare an away team. We need eyes on the ground. And weapons ready." The shuttle descended through a haze of dust and ash, turbulence shaking the craft as ancient security systems blinked to life beneath them. The landing zone was a shattered plaza, cracked slabs of alien stone etched with glowing runes that flickered faintly in the gloom. Stepping off the shuttle, Maya felt the weight of silence press on her. The ruins were eerie, part tomb, part fortress. The air shimmered faintly with residual energy. "Elena," Maya said, eyes scanning the horizon. "Find the source of that energy. Arjun, keep us connected to the Odyssey. I want full sensor coverage." The team moved cautiously, every shadow threatening. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath their feet. From the dust emerged towering sentinels, colossal constructs of metal and stone, eyes glowing with cold light. "Automated defenses," Elena breathed. "They've been dormant until now." The sentinels advanced, slow but relentless. The away team opened fire, plasma bolts striking their armored hides, but the machines barely slowed. "Fall back," Maya ordered, firing her rifle. "Find cover inside the temple." The team scrambled into the nearest structure, ancient doors groaning as they sealed behind them. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of ionized metal and decay. Elena tapped on a control panel, sending a cascade of symbols across the walls. "This place is a vault," she said, "a repository of knowledge and power. We need to unlock it." Arjun, monitoring outside comms, warned, "Captain, more Volari ships detected in orbit. They're deploying ground forces." Maya clenched her jaw. "We're running out of time." Inside the vault, the walls shifted, revealing a chamber filled with glowing crystals and intricate machinery. At the center stood a console pulsing with energy, the heart of the lost technology. Elena stepped forward, hands trembling. "If we can reactivate this, we might harness the power to defend ourselves, maybe even turn the tide." Suddenly, the doors slammed shut. The sentinels outside began pounding, shaking the structure violently. "Hold them off," Maya shouted, rallying her team. As the ancient defenses closed in, the Odyssey crew realized the ruins were no passive relics. They were a trap, a test left by a civilization that vanished for a reason. But humanity was not so easily stopped. The walls of the ancient vault vibrated under the relentless assault of the sentinels outside. Their massive fists struck the monolithic doors with a fury born of millennia-old programming, intent on destroying any who dared enter. Inside, the air was thick with tension, sweat, and the charged hum of alien technology awakening. Captain Maya Reyes stood beside Dr. Elena Wu at the glowing console, the heart of the lost civilization's power. Elena's fingers danced over the interface, trying to decipher the complex runes and crystalline structures. Every moment counted. The Volari ground forces were closing in, and the Odyssey could only hold position in orbit for so long. "Elena, status." Maya barked over the cacophony of alarms. "We're close," Elena replied, voice tense. "This technology isn't just a weapon. It's a quantum reactor capable of bending energy and matter at the fundamental level. If we can activate it, we could have power beyond any fleet." Maya's eyes flicked to Arjun's feed, projected in midair. "Arjun, what's the Volari situation?" Arjun's voice crackled. "They're deploying drop pods. Estimated 10 minutes until contact. We've got to move fast." The doors shook again, cracks spiderwebbing across the ancient stone. The sentinel's patience was wearing thin. Suddenly, the console flashed, a holographic map of star systems with a pulsing point at Karel. Symbols lit up, highlighting a network of energy nodes scattered across the system's ruins. "Elena, what's this?" "It's a power grid," she said, eyes wide. "If we can link to the other nodes, we could activate the entire system. This technology could literally reshape the galaxy." A heavy thud behind them made everyone jump. A Volari commando broke through the rear entrance, plasma rifle blazing. "Security," Maya shouted, drawing her own weapon. The firefight erupted, alien technology and human grit colliding in the cramped chamber. Maya's team fought with desperation and precision. The Volari's advanced armor and weapons gave them the edge, but the humans' tenacity and adaptability kept the invaders at bay. Elena returned to the console, fingers flying. "I'm initiating the core sequence. It's risky. This system hasn't been active in millennia." The room pulsed as the alien technology awoke, flooding with azure light. The hum grew louder, vibrations resonating through the floor. Suddenly, the sentinels outside roared, energy weapons charging. The walls shimmered as ancient defense systems powered up, targeting the approaching Volari. Maya realized the ruins were fighting back, not just at them, but their common enemy. "Use the system against the Volari," she yelled. Outside, the ancient machines fired bursts of energy that shredded the Volari forces, forcing their retreat. The Odyssey's sensors picked up the rapid withdrawal. Arjun's voice came through, breathless. "The Volari fleet is pulling back. The ruins are defending us." Maya allowed herself a brief smile, but the victory was fragile. "Elena, can we control this power?" "I think so. But it will take all of us. Coordination, focus, and maybe a bit of human stubbornness." As the ancient vault glowed with renewed life, humanity's defiant spark burned brighter than ever in a galaxy that had tried to keep them in the shadows. The glow from the reactivated core bathed the vault in an ethereal blue light, casting long shadows on the ancient walls etched with alien symbols. The air vibrated with raw energy, a silent testament to the power humanity had just awoken. But beneath the surface of this newfound strength, something darker stirred. Captain Maya Reyes crouched beside Dr. Elena Wu, who was frantically scanning data streams pouring from the console. The ancient tech was a quantum marvel, its secrets slowly unfolding, but Elena's face betrayed growing unease. "Captain," Elena said, voice tight, "I'm detecting something else. Something buried deep beneath the ruins, a dormant system, unlike anything we've seen. Maya's gaze hardened. Is it another weapon? No, Elena whispered. It's alive. Before Maya could respond, the ground beneath them trembled violently. The vault shook as if the entire structure was waking from a deep slumber. Everyone, brace yourselves, Maya shouted, gripping her rifle as dust rained from the ceiling. A hidden chamber revealed itself, sliding open with grinding stone and steel. From the depths emerged a towering figure, a biomechanical entity, ancient yet sentient, its eyes glowing with cold intelligence. The crew froze, faces pale. This was no machine. It was a guardian, the final protector of Kal-El's legacy. I am the Sentinel Prime, the entity intoned, voice reverberating like thunder. You who awaken the power must prove your worth. Before they could react, the Sentinel Prime unleashed a surge of energy, sending shockwaves through the chamber. The team scattered, diving behind pillars and consoles as the Guardian advanced. Maya fired, plasma bolts sparking against the entity's armored hide. It moved with terrifying speed, countering every attack with crushing force. Elena, any weaknesses? Maya called out. Elena's fingers flew over her datapad. It's powered by the core we activated. If we can disrupt the energy flow, maybe. But the Guardian was relentless, pushing the crew to the brink. Suddenly, Arjun's voice crackled over comms. Captain, the Volari fleet is regrouping. They won't wait much longer. Maya grit her teeth. We need to end this now. The team coordinated a desperate plan. While Maya and the security squad kept the Sentinel Prime occupied, Elena worked frantically to interface with the core, attempting to reroute its power. The chamber shook violently as the ancient machine adapted, but then, with a brilliant pulse of light, the energy feeding the Guardian flickered. The Sentinel Prime staggered, a deep, resonant groan escaping its metallic frame. Now, Elena, Maya shouted. With a surge of effort, Elena sent a cascade of energy through the system, severing the Guardian's connection to the core. The entity shuddered, then collapsed into a dormant heap of metal and stone. Silence fell. The only sound was the heavy breathing of the crew. Maya looked at Elena. What just happened? Elena swallowed hard. We've awakened not just technology, but a consciousness. A defense mechanism designed to test intruders. And we passed, but barely. The distant hum of the Odyssey's engines reminded them time was running out. We have the power, Maya said, voice steady. Now we fight, not just for survival, but to change the galaxy's fate. The ruins of Kal-El had revealed their deepest secret, and humanity was ready to rise. The ruins trembled beneath the thunderous assault of Volari dropships hammering the surface. Captain Maya Reyes and her crew raced through shattered corridors, the weight of ancient power thrumming in their veins and the ever-looming threat of annihilation driving their every step. Outside, the Volari had unleashed their full fury. Swarms of fighters swirled through the blackened skies, while ground troops poured out of pods and stormed the crumbling structures like relentless shadows. The Odyssey remained in orbit, its weapons locked on enemy positions, but vulnerable to the overwhelming numbers. Maya's voice crackled over comms. All teams, fall back to extraction points. We've got one shot at this. The newly awakened quantum core pulsed in rhythm with Maya's heartbeat, a reminder that the fate of humanity's future lay precariously in their hands. It was a power untested, volatile, yet the only advantage they had against the Volari. In the plaza, Arjun coordinated the defense. Sentinel drones activated, he reported. The ruins are fighting with us. Ancient machines, long dormant, stirred to life. Metal limbs and energy weapons emerged from the wreckage, ripping through Volari ranks with precision and fury. The tide shifted, but the Volari adapted quickly, pressing harder. Maya led a squad toward the extraction shuttle, plasma rifle blazing. Volari snipers picked her off with lethal accuracy, but the humans pressed on, every step a battle. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the plaza. The ground cracked open, revealing a gaping chasm glowing with searing energy, a byproduct of the core's awakening. We don't have much time, Elena shouted, eyes wide with alarm. The core is destabilizing. Maya's mind raced. We use the core channel its energy to cover our retreat. Elena nodded, beginning a frantic sequence at the console embedded in the ruins. The vault pulsed, a shimmering dome of force rising around the extraction zone, shielding the crew from Volari fire. But the Volari commander was not deterred. In a desperate gambit, they unleashed a weapon unlike any seen before. A sleek vessel that emitted waves of dark energy, corrupting everything it touched. Maya's squad braced as the corruption spread, dissolving drones and machines alike. The shield flickered dangerously. "Hold the line," Maya roared. "Protect Elena." As the dark wave surged forward, Elena channeled every ounce of will and knowledge into stabilizing the core. The vault hummed with raw power, and with a blinding flash, the dark energy was repelled. The Volari commander snarled, retreating as their forces faltered. The Odyssey's weapons finished the assault, clearing the skies. Maya breathed hard, scanning the horizon. The battlefield was scarred but held. "We did it," Arjun said, on his voice. Maya's eyes burned with fierce determination. "This is just the beginning. The galaxy will know humanity's name." The Odyssey rose from the ruins, carrying its crew, and the future of a defiant species, into the stars. The Odyssey soared away from the shattered Kal-El system, its engines burning bright against the inky blackness of space. The ruins below smoldered, silent once more. An ancient power rekindled, and a battle barely survived. Yet the war was far from over. Captain Maya Reyes stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the distant Volari fleet retreating into the void. The crew buzzed with activity around her, tending to wounded, analyzing data streams, and preparing for the next move. The quantum core's hum echoed faintly through the ship, a reminder of the power they now carried, and the responsibility it demanded. "Captain," Arjun's voice broke through the comms. "Sensors have picked up encrypted transmissions from the Volari. They're mobilizing a fleet to strike at human colonies, multiple targets across the sector." Maya's jaw clenched. "They're not just after the ruins. They want to crush us before we can grow stronger." Dr. Elena Wu, standing beside her, stared at the data in disbelief. "Their technology, it's evolving faster than we expected. They're integrating dark energy tech, the same corruptive force we saw in the final attack." Maya's gaze hardened. "Then we can't wait. We have to hit them first, disrupt their command before those colonies burn." As the Odyssey jumped to faster than light, the crew prepared for a daring raid deep into Volari territory. But the Volari were cunning adversaries, their shadows stretching far and wide. Minutes later, alarms blared. The Volari had anticipated the move. Cloaked warships emerged from the void, surrounding the Odyssey with deadly precision. "Ambush!" Maya shouted. Battle stations. The bridge erupted in controlled chaos, plasma cannons charging, shields flaring, and tactical commands flying. Maya gripped the console, eyes burning with resolve. "We've faced impossible odds before. This time, we fight not just for survival, but for the spark of humanity that refuses to die." The Volari ships unleashed a barrage, but the Odyssey's ancient power shield, fueled by the quantum core, held strong, deflecting the onslaught with a radiant energy field. Arjun's voice cut through the storm. "I'm locking onto their flagship systems. We can disrupt their command if we can break through the shield." "Then let's give them a shock," Maya replied, launching an assault that lit the darkness with blazing fire and defiant fury. The battle for the galaxy's future had just begun, and humanity was ready to claim its place among the stars. The Odyssey slipped silently through the shadow of the Volari homeworld, a massive planet veined with glowing fractures of dark energy. Below, sprawling cities pulsed with alien technology, the beating heart of an empire built on fear and domination. Captain Maya Reyes and her crew prepared for the most dangerous mission yet, to infiltrate the Volari core facility and destroy the source of their corrupt power. "Nav, set us down near the main energy grid," Maya ordered, eyes sharp with determination. "This ends now." The landing was turbulent. Anti-air defenses roared to life, plasma turrets igniting the sky. But the Odyssey's advanced shields held, and the crew disembarked swiftly into the inferno of the enemy's territory. Arjun led the vanguard, moving with precision through narrow streets littered with debris and the echoes of war. Elena scanned for power signatures, her portable console lighting up with alarming data. "This is worse than we thought," she muttered. "The dark energy is saturating the entire city. It's corrupting everything. Machines, even living organisms." Suddenly, the ground trembled. Massive war constructs, towering biomechanical beasts, emerged from the depths, their eyes glowing with malevolent intent. "Contact front," Maya shouted. "Engage and move." The firefight exploded into chaos. Plasma bolts clashed with ancient Volari tech, while the team darted between cover, striking precise blows at the colossal machines. Elena raced toward the energy core chamber, her fingers flying over the interface to initiate a shutdown sequence. But the system resisted, ancient safeguards activating deadly traps, corridors sealed, walls electrified. Maya fought through waves of Volari troops, pushing forward with relentless grit. The crew's unity was their greatest weapon, each move coordinated, every shot calculated. With a deafening roar, the energy core itself began to destabilize. Elena's voice crackled urgently. "I've initiated the overload, but we need to get clear now." The team sprinted back through the labyrinthine corridors as the core exploded behind them in a blinding cascade of light and force. The ground shook violently, the planet itself seeming to scream in fury. They barely made it back to the Odyssey as the Volari forces reeled from the devastating blow. Maya's eyes burned with fierce satisfaction. "We struck at the heart. Now let's finish this war." The Odyssey's hull shuddered violently under the relentless barrage of Volari warships converging from every direction. Captain Maya Reyes stood firm on the bridge, eyes locked on the chaos unfolding in the starfield outside. Their strike on the Volari homeworld had crippled the enemy's power, but it had come at a cost. The Volari were not beaten yet. They were furious, shields at 70% and dropping. Arjun barked, fingers dancing across the controls to redistribute energy. Maya gritted her teeth. "Prepare all weapons. Target their command frigates. We end this now." Around her, the crew moved with precision honed from countless battles. Elena monitored the quantum core's fluctuations, feeding power into the ship's defenses while analyzing enemy energy signatures. "Captain," she warned, "the Volari are deploying a new weapon. A massive energy pulse that could disable our core shield if it hits." Maya's heart pounded. "Can we counter it?" Elena nodded grimly. "If we time our countercharge perfectly, we can overload their pulse and turn it against them. But it's a gamble." "No gambles left," Maya said, voice steel. "Do it." As the Volari's weapon charged, a brilliant sphere of dark energy blossomed in the distance, growing until it threatened to engulf the Odyssey. Maya's crew braced for impact. "Now," Elena shouted. The Odyssey unleashed a surge of quantum energy, colliding with the Volari pulse in a cataclysmic explosion of light and shadow. The shockwave rocked the fleet, tearing apart enemy ships and sending debris scattering. The Volari flagship faltered, its command systems disrupted. Maya seized the moment. "Full forward. Target their bridge." Plasma and railgun fire tore through the void as the Odyssey closed in. With a final, devastating blast, the Volari flagship exploded in a bloom of fire. Silence fell. The Volari fleet began to retreat, fractured and leaderless. Maya exhaled slowly. This fight isn't over, but today, humanity stands victorious. Around her, the crew shared weary but triumphant glances. They had faced impossible odds and survived. The stars outside glittered with hard-won promise. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the Odyssey's reinforced viewport, a tapestry of light against the infinite darkness. Captain Maya Reyes stood silently on the bridge, watching as the battered Volari remnants fled into the void. The war was over, but the future had only just begun. Around her, the crew tended to the wounded, repaired the ship's systems, and quietly celebrated. The quantum core hummed steadily, a beacon of humanity's newfound strength and the promise of exploration and defense beyond anything imagined before. Captain, Elena said softly, joining her by the window. The core's power is stable. We can finally harness it, not just for war, but for rebuilding. Maya nodded, the weight of leadership pressing on her shoulders. We've won a battle, yes, but peace is the real challenge. Arjun stepped forward, his usual calm replaced with a rare smile. The galaxy won't forget what we did here. Humanity earned respect. But with power like this, enemies will come from all directions. Maya's eyes hardened with resolve. Then we make sure we're ready. We'll build alliances, strengthen defenses, and protect what we've reclaimed. Her gaze drifted to the horizon of stars. Somewhere out there were colonies, new worlds, new challenges, and new friends. A soft chime interrupted her thoughts. Tactical reported incoming signals, messages from other human fleets and colonies, rallying to the Odyssey's beacon. Hope surged through the bridge. Prepare a message to all human outposts, Maya commanded. We survived. We're stronger. And we will not be alone. The crew exchanged determined looks, united, battle-worn, but unbroken. As the Odyssey prepared to jump to the next frontier, Maya whispered to herself, this is just the beginning. The darkness of space was vast and uncertain, but humanity's light would burn brighter than ever.